OG versus Team Spirit game number 2, brought to you by Sunsfan and Cinderin. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. I'm lounging, enjoying myself, and I'm ready to watch some more high-quality Dota between these two teams. OG really got to step up after that game number 1. That was not one of their best showings. For Spirit, however, a great and hot entry into this series, and they have got themselves quite a few very high-rated heroes in this tournament so far. They've got Dragon Knight, Sven, and Puck. They're running a support terribly, which I'm personally very curious to see. That's the first time we get to cast that.
Yeah.
OG, not a single top-tier pick in sight, except the Razor, I guess you could argue, but they're playing it carry.
Yes.
Which
well,
no other team has done that we've covered.
Too.
Yeah, I suppose. But he's not like wildly contested in terms of like first phase bans or whatnot.
Yep, it feels like they got so crushed in that game 1, they're like, let's just try a pocket strat to some degree.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it works out for them. Definitely risky. But if it works out, they're going to look like geniuses. That's the motto.
And if it doesn't work out, you can always just say you lost to the world champions. So
yeah, why not? So it will be the Terrorblade as a support, which, like you said, we haven't gotten the chance to cast. And do you know how do they build? Like, what's the idea behind this?
So the way Spirit picked it here, they picked it, I want to say after Sven, right? So it wasn't even... Am I remembering the draft correctly here when I say that? Or did they pick it before Sven? Because I forgot whether they were picking it as a red herring and then just, you know, when OG counterpicked it. I think it was the other way around. So OG counterpicked it with Darkseer, right? And then they relinquished it to support. I think that's what happened. So the idea was to bait out some sort of counter from OG to that and then run a different carry. And what Terrorblade does as a support is, in lane, you're going to be casting Reflection to pressure both of the enemy heroes at the same time. And then, obviously, you get level 2, you will have meta, so you trade really well. And later down the line, as a support, you offer arguably the strongest heal in the game, right? Sunder will be able to protect any hero that's in major trouble, obviously putting yourself at risk. But if you die, you were just a support, saving your big cores.
That's right.
That's the idea.
He's already killed a courier. Terrorblade, the courier killer.
This is not
his nickname.
This is not the first time in Dota history that Terrorblade support is a thing, by the way. It has happened before.
Has it? I don't know.
Yeah, in Dota 2.
Dragon Tail, Blood Grenade to follow Tomato. Continue to get healed by Seb, but will it be enough? Doesn't look like it. Oh. One more right click, not even needed, as Collapse has the Breathe Fire. First blood goes to him, and already the DK Terrorblade lane ruining pubs everywhere.
A couple of extra facts about this hero that are interesting in the support role. He has 315 move speed, one of the highest in the game. Well, okay, but it's in the higher half, and it allows him to stick on targets there. You throw the Blood Grenade, and you can keep attacking them even in melee form. You add the slow of Reflection on top, and then that makes for a very nice and easy chase down. And he has 9 armor. So if you're trying to trade support versus support...
Oh, he's the courier killer, remember. They don't even bother trying to micro it. Seb relinquishes control to Mira. And, I mean, okay, do you skill any differently? I'm assuming meta. Yeah, meta is the second spell to come.
Yeah, you max Reflection. It's your main spell. Because it's the highest impact, lowest cooldown spell you have, so you're going to max that out. You're still going to get at least 1 value point in Conjure Image for scouting purposes and maybe for a little bit of farming during downtime. But yeah, that's the main idea.
So if you're a new Dota player that came from the anime, because we know many people watched and loved that series, and you're wondering, why is Terrorblade the demon, the main villain of the story, a support? That's a good question.
It's a different timeline.
Not in...
You can TP out.
Different universe as Mira, yeah, just the simple TP. He still has plenty of HP as well.
Yeah.
When you talk about this high armor, it is ridiculously high.
Yep. What I was saying about this hero being played before, I actually think we cast this game together, where there was a Yapsor for Terrorblade. Or maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly and it wasn't with you, but I know he absolutely played it once or twice in a tournament.
Nice.
Back with Secret.
Onto 2.
Big damage.
The toss out, and Maposhka actually will fall, so ends up working out for OG. How many years ago is this?
I want to say 3 or 4.
Okay, I don't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, so...
Okay, it was...
trouble with that.
It was this morning.
Also don't remember that.
Secret played with Yapsor this morning in this tournament, as a matter of fact. You are just getting a bit delirious.
I do miss Yapsor.
Yeah.
In the competitive scene, though, I will say. One of the most exciting position fours to ever grace the Dota world.
World record holder for most kill steals with Fade Bolt.
Yep, that's probably true. Fairy Fire. Ahri wants to try to turn this around. Toss up. Will eventually fall to the Inkswell.
Now Whisper's in trouble too.
Yep, Yatoro's coming in.
Oh, this is real bad.
And he will get cleaned up by the right clicks.
That is no good.
That was the old domino effect, trying to help your teammate syndrome. Just let him die.
Also believe, aside from Mira in this tournament, I believe we have seen 2 other players play the support Terrorblade. Probably.
And the meta is popped by the support Terrorblade. Collapse. Let's focusing on Seb, but we'll turn his sights back as Tomato. Let's continue to right-click away. And yeah, mid lane we haven't really talked about too much. BZM sitting on 30 and 7, Laurel at 26 and 2, so slight advantage there for OG. And yeah, even the mid pick, you're right. Like all these picks are kind of out of meta, minus the Razor / Tiny.
We've had a decent amount of Void Spirit games, but it's not exactly a prioritized hero.
The Void Spirit feels like there's literally no other pick, so it just has to be Void Spirit. That's what it's felt like in a lot of these games. Toss back, Ahri. Inkswell to follow is Yatoro. Silence is still there. Even Laurel come into play, and this is going to be another death for Whisper.
And they're going to give the kill to Laurel. He is losing his mid lane by a decent margin, so this kill will definitely be a big help as BZM will pick up his level 6. Big gank coming in from Mira.
God, what am I watching? All right, what do you build on this hero then? Because I know one of the games, who was it playing? They just built carry items. I don't understand.
I mean, that's obviously a luxury you have if the game is going well, or if it goes super late and you get farm, you can do that. I think something in this game that would be great would probably be the Spirit Vessel. The panel was talking about him buying that in 2 pubs, I think. That could be interesting against the IO. Wouldn't mind seeing a Vlad's for the team. You know, just buy auras, because your primary job in the game is to cast Reflection and sunder the initiated target. And then you can buy whatever utility you need. So
we're not going to be saying Armlet Shadowblade Dagon, is what you're saying.
No, because this is a pro game.
You're saying that's never been done in a pro game?
I think that has never been done in a pro game.
Come on. Dota 1 probably. Not even kidding.
Also, probably not.
It's probably true. That was a really popular strategy, Cinder. You just don't remember in your old age.
I remember playing it in Dota 1. The Dagon Terrorblade.
Was it successful for you?
I do not remember that, so probably not.
I'm sure you had fun, though. That's the most important thing.
I always remember when I have fun in Dota. 2018 was a great year.
Is that before Neutralite?
I don't know. I just needed to go for an old year, so it wasn't recent, you know?
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like very specifically that year.
I wasn't casting then, so that's another reason. Probably.
Yeah, that was oh man.
I was out of the scene at that point. I was on to Artifact, the new hot card game from Valve. Yatoro being pressured a bit by Whisper as the coil comes out from Laurel. And BZM wants to try to counteract this. Looks like the Darkseer will fall first. Big avalanche from Ahri. Is it enough to take out Laurel? Not quite yet.
Nice
Astro's is not going to hit Laurel, who's the intended target. BZM falls, and Laurel does not.
Why are they not tipping him? What a sick play from Laurel. He dodges. He does the perfect phase shift timing to dodge the Astral Step, and then he afterwards gets the... I think he also dodged an attack with the Illusory Orb. We're going to see the replay here. So keep an eye on the puck in this situation. There. Gonna dodge. BZM. There. He dodged the tree throw as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
With the jaunt. Just masterclass from Laurel.
Gorgeous play. 3K lead for Spirit. And already OG feeling a bit of pressure. And I guess the question for you is, since they went for this IO Razor, when does that come online? Or when do they need to start pressuring Spirit in some regard?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to answer just because we don't really have a great frame of reference in this patch for this strategy. I wonder how comfortable Spirit are with... I mean, obviously they're doing great in this game so far, so definitely feeling very good, but just conceptually against this, if they have a good idea of the timings that are at play.
It might have to be on hold, Cinderin, because Tomato is getting triple teamed as Mira. Oh, he actually won't do anything. He'll look successfully for the kill. Seb, next on the list. Down goes the God, aka Io.
Yeah, if you didn't watch the last game, you'll be like, oh yes, I mean, Seb's good, I know.
And Mira does get taken out, which usually be more excited about, except for the fact that it is a support Terrorblade. I'm going to say that for the 20th time this game, because I literally still can't believe that this is a thing that players are pulling out in this tournament. When was this time that it was a support before? Was that during my artifact year?
I'm sorry, I got distracted for a moment. I'm just laughing. Yatoro denied a bounty rune, and then he got tipped by Mira.
Oh.
How did this even happen? Did he have an illusion? Or did he actually
collapse? Oh, they're going to try to go for this again. They don't get the double stun, but they might still have the damage. The Inkswell connects onto both, and one toss comes up. Tomato actually living for now. That's a big plasma field as the rest of the rotation comes in from OG. The wallet placed as well, and 3 dead for Spirit.
Oh,
so
they
a little
needed
bit
that
of
badly.
Absolutely. That was as close as it gets, and OG getting something to go their way. Feels like it's been the entire series they've been waiting for something like that.
Yep, pretty much. And while it is good, they're still at a major disadvantage in this game, but without a play like that, this could have become an absolute avalanche of a game. No pun intended.
Good one.
But I said no pun intended.
Good one. Yeah, but you did intend it.
Not really.
Coil, BZM's going to snap it right off the bat. Inkswell is coming as well, but they silence on top. Good layering. I don't think they have the damage, though. BZM going to try to get the Aether Rim onto Laurel, but is able to pop that Invis rune out of range. Ari doesn't have the vision here. As the courier is delivering to Laurel, so I think Ari has an idea. He at least was there a moment ago. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a little excited, Cinderin, when I saw Io Tiny picked. Like, oh, old school, that's fun. Yeah. Ends up being the Razor instead. Toro will be forced to TP out.
So to answer your question about timing, I think this is not so much about the Io Razor, but it's about the Darkseer, actually, I think. When you're playing this type of lineup with Darkseer, you want to have maxed out Ion Shell, generally a couple of levels in Vacuum, and then you want to have one aura item, and then you want to play with Whisper. And we're starting to approach that point now. He has the mech, he has 3 in Surge and 1 in Vacuum only so far. I imagine he will want to start leveling that instead of maxing out Surge, but we'll see. Maybe he thinks the low cooldown on that is really valuable here. But he is going to be the hero that can bring OG's lineup together. You want to put Ion Shell on the Void Spirit, you want to put Ion Shell on the Tiny and even on yourself, and then land some sort of a big spell combo. The Razor needs time. A lot of time. He's level 7. Sven is level 11. Okay?
Wow.
That is what we're looking at here. Yatoro has a level per minute in this game.
Wow.
So you're never going to close this gap through farming. It has to be through fighting. Bait out the reload and back off. Yep. All of OG are here chasing ghosts.
And Mira.
And Mira.
Is the one they're chasing. Looks like he's just going to get away, though. He's bottom net worth, so even if they found him, not really worth too much. This BZM. Looks like Aghanim Scepter will be his first main purchase. Silence against the likes of Laurel, which we've been seeing the Witchblade into Yules normally on the pucks at this tournament. Has the Witchblade now.
Yep.
Yatoro setting up for a smoke gank, but nobody's up there at the moment. And Collapse, he's got his blink. Orb of Corrosion, interesting. I don't know if we've seen, have we seen that on TV?
No, that stood out to me earlier as well. I was like, that's curious. And it does help you push towers faster, and maybe he had value of it in lane because they were playing double melee with Reflection. It might be specifically with TB that he does this, but it is indeed quite different from what we mostly see.
Yeah, BZM and Ari were spotted, so now Miposhka we'll run to the north, and yeah, we should probably be talking about Whisper a bit more on this Darkseer. Not a hero we get to see all too often. He has a mech, and going for a BKB, then Blink, it seems.
Yeah.
So not going to be seeing a Veil, Shiva's type thing, at least not yet.
I think the BKB is a very good choice this game. There's just too many problems. This hero needs freedom in the fight. It needs to be able to land its combo. And at this level of play with what you're playing against, it will be tough without it.
On Collapse, and the relocate's coming. That ends up being a really easy kill for OG. You need a couple more of those. But yeah, the Darkseer, pretty cool hero because you can itemize so differently from game to game. Begs the question, why is this hero not picked more often? I guess that's a question for you. The matchups in lane.
Yeah, lane matchups.
He's going to get gone on, but the instant coil from Lara, but a nice avalanche. Soulbind is there to dissuade them from going in further. It's BZM using that haste to pressure a bit, but not able to find a second connection here. But the tier 1 to OG.
Yeah, so the reason Darkseer isn't getting as much love is it struggles in a lot of lanes and doesn't really win in the ones that it does well. And okay, Mira.
Toss back onto the support. TB. Down he goes.
Yeah. And aside from that, it's also not really the stereotypical. It's a very different offlaner than most of the meta ones right now. It doesn't like initiate in the same fashion that we see from these strength offlaners that buy Blink. You can get Blink on Darkseer and find a vacuum, but in general, you're very much at the mercy of playing with the correct lineup. So in order to pick this hero, first of all, you can't first pick it in the draft. Then you need to have a lineup that even functioned with it down the stretch. And with most teams valuing the offlaner as an early pick, that kind of removes that part of it.
It does feel like kind of like a secondary initiator, right?
Yeah, it's a great follow-up when the fight breaks out, and ideally you also want a good core matchups. In this game, he has 2 of them, I would say. The Terrorblade, which then was no longer a core, and the Dragon Knight. The illusion of Dragon Knight is very strong when he gets levels in particular. So I can see why they went for it, and so far so good, right? I feel like Whisper is a big part of the reason that OG are still looking quite good in this game. By no means ahead, but they've stemmed the bleeding significantly.
Yep, Ahri.
Spirit will find Ahri here.
Might be in some hurt here. Dragon Tail finds him.
Oh, they're gonna reload in here?
Coming. OG wants to fight. Avalanche is there. Ahri is still alive, actually. Soulbind immediately popped by Miposhka, but he's deleted for his efforts. Coil now on basically the entirety of OG. He's gonna hold them back as Ahri actually going in really deep. Can they punish this? We'll be able to phase shift a bit off as Yatoro pops that God Strength. Sunder was used by Mira. And they're gonna try to turn this around to BZM, who's all alone. Astral Step, gets off the Resident Pulse just in time to gain the extra physical damage mitigation. And Spirit kind of getting punished here a bit. Not really any huge kills, but
OG are
like
survivable. They bring in the IO, they bring in the Greaves. Little bit of damage problems for now for the side of Spirit. Probably need to consider taking a little bit of a chill here, just get some more damage up and running, especially on the Sven, so that you can make a much stronger and more impactful connection. His Ags will be a complete difference maker in this game. So, but OG are keeping this close. Mira in trouble.
Yes, he is. Well, TP.
This will be a tough one to hit.
Good attempt.
That's in the middle of the wave.
Yeah, Ahri just a little bit too slow to the party.
Light Collector for Tomato. I feel like this is almost the only neutral item I highlight. I mention it every time it's picked up.
Light Collector.
10% move speed, very good for him in the IO, of course. So now he's going to be running very fast with that in the Sanjin Yasha.
I reckon that's true. SNY picked up, so Tomato gets that extra status resist. And once the BKB comes online, is that the timing where they start forcing fights? Because right now, it does feel a little bit reactionary from OG. Like they get initiated on, then the relocate comes. Or they can just continue playing this way because it is working out so far.
Yeah, I think you probably continue the same style. I think making invasive maneuvers with this team is very dangerous, especially into the opponent that you're facing. That's not to say they can't do it, but I don't feel like the Razor BKB completely changes the dynamic so that they just go for that. But perhaps it is what they should do.
Alright, gets the Avalanche connection, toss in the air, trying to wait for his team to catch up, but Yatoro gets the distance. Miposhka, well, they don't have vision here, so it looks like the TP will be fine.
Yeah, OG are going to be hungry. If they do make aggressive moves, I don't think it's like a forced 5-man kind of thing, but rather Tiny plus Core find something in side lane and you reload in and you outnumber and then you get out, rather than 5-man smoke, invade enemy triangle. This is one of the biggest upsides to IO.
They saw that smoke. Mira doesn't seem to care. He will be tanking the gank. So they saw the smoke and then they scanned as well just to make sure. Of course, they weren't 100% sure whether they went that direction as opposed to the enemy as opposed to the triangle for Spirit. As Collapse is going to get a courier for his troubles. Oh, blink TP.
Oh,
close one. What did BZM? Okay, he actually changed his mind. So originally it was the Ag's first item he was looking for, but instead goes the SNK and now is going for Ags.
Yep.
Which is definitely more normal. Because the first item Ag's typically not the choice. That is really good against Puck, of course. But we can see that Laurel is going to be going for a BKB actually, so not opting for Yules this time. Now, Superman up and running for Yatoro.
This is a really big power spike. They have some insane combos here, Spirit. With Soulbind, with Coil. Soulbind double Dragon Tails, Soulbind double Stormhammer. How does that work? Does Sven fly from one and then to the other?
For what?
With the Stormhammer where you travel. Because when you have the Stormhammer where you don't travel and you're soulbound, you just throw a hammer to one and then a hammer to the other.
Oh, that's true.
Who do you end up at? Do you always end up at the last guy? Probably, right?
It's a good question, Cinderin. That's my kind of question.
I would think so.
That's typically the one I would annoy you with.
Yep. But
I'm sure Fogged would know. He's probably the only person in the world that would know that.
No, of course, multiple people know that.
In the world.
I think, no, maybe it's only him, actually.
It's always Fogged.
Yeah.
BKB
fucking
finish
nerd. Time for Wisdom Rune.
Radiant's bottom tower
And time for some stacking for Yatoro. Quite quiet game, this one, gotta say. A lot of hidden creeps for a while.
Yeah, well, you know what changes that, Cinderin? Is Roche, eventually. Then it just becomes this 8 to 11 minute window of these big, juicy fights.
Yep.
Wonder how much it would change if Roche was every 5 minutes and the Aegis lasted like 3 minutes. That would be interesting. Just constant.
It's an interesting thought experiment to have like smaller Roche.
Yeah.
Can they do this?
Maposhka can't, that's for sure. Here comes Mira. Pops the meta for it as well.
Okay, they can do it.
And the shard will go to Collapse.
In strength is victory.
Level 18 Sven with that wisdom. Collapse with the fireball.
Eh, not too bad. Solid.
Not to be mistaken for the drink, of course.
That's the cinnamon shot.
How do you... There's so
know
many things you don't know, and then you know that. And you don't even drink.
I don't.
So random.
I've been offered one many times before.
It's probably in your favorite song from Pitbull or something. That's why you know it.
I don't know what Pitbull is.
It's a breed of dog.
Okay. Learning things every day with Cinderin. Usually very useless, though. 6K lead for Spirit here.
I don't know what Pitbull is. Please tell me you knew one of them. Either the dog breed or the musician.
Of course I know the dog breed.
Okay, that's good. All right.
And I assumed it was a musician, but I never heard it before. So.
You did not really miss out, I have to say.
Okay.
Although...
Well, I wish I could have missed out on this conversation. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know. I think you'd rather miss out on Pitbull. But maybe. Actually, it might just be your jam.
Radiant's top tower is under
OG
attack.
looking to defend here. Ari coming from the north, trying to collapse here onto Laurel.
Oh!
God Strength is used from Atari, looking for the opening. Laurel's going to use the patience. He's inside the wall right now. Plasma Field to come. Looks like he's going to get out for the time being. But Yatoro's the one that just tries to TP out in the midst of the BKB.
How do they both live there?
They both live, but the BKB and God Strength are down, and I feel like This is an opening for OG. Laurel, well, maybe we spoke too soon. Illusory Orb to the other side of the Roche pit. We'll blink TP. So no kills, but still very important. Spoke too soon again. Mira tries to get off the Sunder, but will fall first as Collapse continue on to BZM. Collapse all alone. Now he's going to try the BKB TP. Not successful for him. So very
disconnected
fight.
Yeah, that's so disconnected. They just left with their position 1 and 2, and then they went in. I think they expected OG to already have split off a bit too much and fragmented, because that's usually what's going to happen there, right? Okay, we didn't kill the core, it's back to farming, and then Spirit tried to pull one on them, but OG were ready for it, get the response, and like you said, a bit of a power play opportunity here with BKB and God Strength down, and even more so with DK, but OG's lineup just not good at killing Roche, so they didn't really seem like they were able to try to go for that. But at the very least, they get an aggressive position on the map.
Laurel, Waning Rift onto a couple heroes. Still has his coil as the hammer comes in from Yatoro onto Ari. He's going to get tossed into the air. God Strength is there. A nice vacuum to the other side of the cliff. And BZM actually going on top of Laurel, gets the second silence, but is going to commit onto Yatoro instead, who's still trying to chase Whisper. Gets glimmered, will live, but a huge Stormhammer chop onto Seb. Ari is dead to Laurel, and just like that, it's a 5 versus 3 for Spirit. Tomato trying to run away with the BKB activated. They finally do get Laurel in the end, but now the Fireball applied. Hammer to finish the job on Tomato, and Whisper attempting to TP out in the midst of things, but the damage not quite there. Beautiful Aether Remnant comes out from BZM to save his brother.
Damn, there's a lot of little details there from both teams. Very, very nice fight. At the end of the day, it kind of is a draw, which I think is a fair outcome with how the two teams played that. Slight victory for Spirit. I don't think this is the entire kill count. That the fight recap only remembers that, but maybe it was. Was it only Laurel they killed?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it was just the other heroes respawning then. That's surprising. It's still was a good fight for OG, just margins making the difference. And Yatoro, obviously huge in that fight, tons of damage, will be reliably able to output this for quite a while, I think, unless they can somehow get a full static link on him. But he is playing around Tomato quite well.
Ari does get the avalanche off as the relocate's coming as well. Mira at half HP. The relocate's not going to bear any fruit, it seems. They're going to steal some camps, get Watcher control, and they probably just go back to where they came from.
Yeah.
Ari, he's trying to hound Yatoro now.
This would be big.
Yep, gets the stun off initially. Tomato's back with his static link. Yatoro wants to fight this through. The God Strength is there, cleaving through Seb. That's one kill, but it's going to cost him his own life. As Seb makes the tip.
Vanished.
1 for 1, but the favor for OG, no doubt about it.
It was the best play available for him to get that trade. He had no TP, so he couldn't BKB TP out. But being alone in the middle of the map there on Sven is very surprising to me. I think with all of OG missing that.
Okay, creating a lot of havoc here as the wall is placed. Mira is still signing somebody, gets a nice Sunder onto BZM. Now BZM has to be a bit careful as Ari did fall in that engagement. Tomato will eventually run down Mira. Don't think he has a refresher yet for that double Sunder, so will die this time.
Imagine. He just randomly has a refresher minute 25 on the support TV.
This is a bit of an oversight, though, from OGs that they just can't kill Roche. You're right, the lineup is atrocious at it. And we're at 27 minutes and there hasn't been one Roche yet. This is very unusual.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It doesn't bother OG too much not to be able to kill it as long as Spirit aren't getting it either.
Yeah.
If you're winning the fights or at least breaking even and you're competitive in a game like this, remove Roche from the equation for now. I feel like this kill on Yatoro was actually the biggest kill of the entire game. He was in the middle of the map alone. They trade him for Seb. He's out for so long. And he's easily the top net worth hero in the game. That death cost him like a 2k lead on Tomato almost, or at least 1500. So Tomato is rapidly catching up. He'll be getting Butterfly now, so the True Strike for Yatoro not there will make that kill a lot harder for him. And I feel like this lead from Spirit just might not end up cutting it. We've seen plenty of Sven games this tournament so far. We've seen a lot of convincing wins, and it feels like most of the ones where Sven is somewhat even, he doesn't really tend to pull it off in the end. So gonna come down a lot to whether they can activate Collapse, and who knows, maybe Mira can become a monster in 40 minutes time, but he is not itemizing to try to carry his TB, that's for sure.
He's definitely playing a good boy support this time around. Yatoro finishes his Daedalus. And they're gonna smoke up. Ari breaks it pretty much right off the bat. Spirit Vessel applied coil as well, but BZM shots in. He's gonna get 3-shot if he's not careful. Actually able to get out just in time, and now Tomato coming in to try to finish the job. Yatoro pops his BKB along with the God Strength. Now has to run away as the static link is just ripping through him. Yatoro's dead.
They got the BZM trade, and now both teams probably going to be a little bit of a standoff here.
Tomato. Plasma Field to force Spirit back. Still without Yatoro for 70 seconds.
BZM surviving that initial go is crazy to me. Like, how does he live there? He has... Honestly, I think Cloak of Flames made the difference. Wait, he just got it, so that can't have been it. What did he have before?
I don't know.
I just can't believe it. Like,
I'll tell you this, it wasn't Light Collector.
I mean, he had Kaya Sanj, Ag Scepter, right? So he does have the status resist, but the amount of just burst damage Spirit threw at him in the opening, I was sure he was going to die in the first volley of spells, but somehow stays alive, gets out, and gets a Cloak of Flames to confuse everyone.
Yatoro, the Daedalus, obviously very normal item to get. Lincoln's is what he was opting for, and I definitely agree with this. Looking at their, other than the items that I haven't looked at yet, Static Link, it blocks, and I think just Toss. Is that it? It's actually incredibly good.
Doesn't block Toss.
It doesn't block Toss. So Toss works with Phylactery, but doesn't get blocked by Lincolns. That's correct?
That's how I remember growing up.
I mean, they've definitely changed it, though. So, are you 100% sure?
I would be very surprised if it breaks Lincolns. That would be very new to me.
Okay, well, that's better news for Spirit, then, because it's just Static Link.
Yeah. That's true. It would be good here.
Yeah, other than the items that may come.
Harpoon is still also really valuable, though. He needs to be kited less in the fights, and it's weird to say when he already has the Ags, but they're still able to kite him quite effectively, our OG. Who, by the way, finally gets Roche, #1, minute 30, whatever that was, 30-45. Putting the Aegis onto Tomato. Don't know if that's the right target.
Rather have it on BZM?
Yeah, maybe. You saw this fight, how it broke out, right?
Look at that average time. It's gone up a bit.
Yep.
Still owe me that meal.
Dinner enjoyers rejoice.
I believe that dinner, for all those that are interested, is happening tomorrow, and BSJ will be picking the restaurant, of course.
Oh, I hope he picks a place that I love and you hate.
No, that's...
Yes.
Not in the rules.
Some really nice...
Spirit.
He has good odds of that.
Gonna try to go for a backstab. They don't want to focus on Tomato with that Aegis. Fireball was shown, so OG's not going to be that surprised. I feel like God Strength Yatoro jumping in. They're going for the IO, and they get him.
He has buyback.
Dead. Soulbind not to do. That means a double silence as well. Whisper still with all of his spells. And yeah, Seb can... I mean, he'd have to relocate to get there quickly.
This is a good play call for Spirit to not chase. This would have been terrible. OG would have had the high ground. They would have got Vac Wall plus IO buyback into Aegis fight. I don't think Spirit would have had a chance. So they get the one kill they can get and back off, but that is God Strength down, so I think this mid-tier 2 tower, especially with the Amp Rune, it's just gonna go down.
Now we're calling it Amp Rune?
I'm never gonna call it that again. I just started saying Amplify and I was like, I can't be bothered to say the whole thing.
Yeah, you're lazy.
Yeah, it's a damage rune. Let's just call it that. How about Damn Rune?
Damn Rune?
I mean, when you hit with it, you're like, damn!
That's true. I'd be into that as well.
And if you have Echo Saber, it's double damn!
Okay.
Which is where the name is from.
I think you've outlived your joke, because Laurel...
Wow.
Radiant are scanning.
That's good. I like that.
Tomato almost has Satanic. He is definitely having himself a great game. But how does late game, like extreme, not that we're there yet, I'm just wondering, extreme late game Razor, how does he fare? Because you get like the refresher and all that. But is there, it feels like there's a certain point where you start to fall off a bit.
I think that's
the case?
not necessarily. I feel like that's a bit of an outdated take on the hero, in my opinion, because the 25 talent is as good as it is. It's down to whether you can anti-carry or not. The 25 talent Link steals attack speed is ridiculous against melee cores. So whatever, like let's say you have a shortcoming against specific carries and overall bang for your buck with the net worth, which is probably true against plenty of heroes. If you get half a static link or full static link off, it's not just that you gain the damage and they lose it. The attack speed as well effectively, like, you just take Sven out of the game if you get a link, right? Or against Dragon Knight too, who, by the way, is in some serious trouble here. Probably BKB TP, I reckon. There you go. You love when I say that, I know.
It's just so distracting.
I'll get out. What?
Not a normal word.
We did a survey backstage with plenty of participants.
Plenty, one. Yeah.
And those participants said it's a great and normal word.
And who was that person? Let's see how much credibility they have when you say his name.
Whenever you do a survey, people prefer to...
BKB from Yatoro, he'll be able to get out. They don't have any cancel for that. We've seen it many times this game.
I know you wouldn't know this, but when you do a survey, people are anonymous, so we will not disclose who was talking to.
It was Jenkins. Avatos from Ari.
It was no longer a survey.
As Boots of Bearing being selected from Mira. Very nice. Laurel gets out. He's going to pop the Boots of Bearing.
Run!
Gets to the high ground, going through the gate.
He's fine.
He is definitely not fine. The support, Terrorblade, has died, and now Tomato will steal
nice.
The Tormentor, as Ari will get his shard.
Swift aggression from OG here. Yeah, so I think the Boots of Bearing logic here is you want to have a way of running out of the Darkseer wall. I think that's the main thing. He's giving his teammates a way out once they get walled, because then they can ignore the slow for a short amount of time. And also maybe help them escape static link. I actually really like this purchase here. I think it's quite clever. Still need to get in the type of situation where it matters, though.
Did he just self-blink? Oh boy, Ari at the 4-step outside the coil. And Stormhammer is reserved for him as a God Strength.
Okay.
But, let's just call that a misclick.
They want him real dead.
He wants to fight, apparently. Astral Step upon Yatoro. Try to kite him, surely will not. Oh, gets the sheep now. Maposhka nearby. Wall is placed, though. Stormhammer's to the creeps to try to get out. Pop the Satanic as well, attempting the TP, but
he didn't BKB.
Gets the vacuum to cancel it.
Oh, what a blunder! How did he not BKB there?
You're right. Wow. I figured he had used it earlier then, but you're right. It is off cooldown.
Oh, that is expensive. That's going to be the whole map claim for OG. They can just push in top. They can do whatever they want. So it's on cooldown as he gets hexed, right? Now, he's hitting. It was ready for a full second before he TP'd there.
Yeah.
So definitely just a mistake all around here from Yatoro, and that is a really big cleanup for OG. They might even knock on the high ground here without Aegis, trying to force this buyback. They know Spirit don't have the damage to kill heroes without this Sven.
And Tomato just breathing in the fireball, enjoying the essence of it.
The fumes.
Tower already at half HP as Collapse is level 19, but you're going to see the coil initiation from Laurel. And try to focus onto Seb. He's getting pretty low. The Greaves not enough to keep him alive. Does die. Still has the buyback from earlier, though. Okay. And OG.
Laurel says, I'll do it myself with a damage rune plus Parasma Ags.
Tomato still poking.
Can just barely kill the IO.
Yeah, but now that the Ags is on the DK, Black Dragon at his disposal.
Tower is under attack.
Tower still taking heavy damage. Looks like it will fall. Collapse. Gets off the Dragon Hill Fireball to follow step. Does buy back into the game. Ari with the Avatos. Tossing Mira back. Gets off the Sunder, though. Will get silenced and destroyed. Yatoro's back at 8 seconds. Does OG want to stick around? No.
Oh, they brought Razor back to base. This could be bad.
Yep, this is not good, potentially. Ari, he will definitely die to Yatoro's right click. Whisper. Man, so many BKB TPs this game.
I don't think Seb meant to do that, actually.
You don't think so? Why?
I don't think there was a reason to bring back the Razor. If you were scared of this fight breaking out, you would have left in a different way anyway.
Well, then it would have been 4v5 if it was just him, right?
And there's no Terrorblade. You still have position. Your cores can protect each other, and you can come back to the fight. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was on purpose, but I guess they only end up selling tiny, so not too bad. A clear window of opportunity given there. It's not like Tomato can't do anything without the IO, right? He can definitely still stand his ground and deliver, but maybe with the BKB cooldown, you know what? Perhaps you're right. Maybe he wanted to take him out and they just cut their losses.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
With just the Tiny.
This would be a really good IO shard game, by the way. The Tormentor is up. Not sure if he's going to purchase it, but the spell... is the spell amp or spell lifesteal? Either way.
10% spell lifesteal and 30% slow resist.
Yeah, for Razor.
I mean, how much...
Very hybrid type hero.
How much does that spell amp really do? I don't know what his breakdown of damage is in a game like this. Maybe it's more than you would expect.
I would think it's quite good.
No. You might be right. I don't know when it comes to Razor how his damage distribution is. Let's see what he chooses. He's running a token right now. Ascetics cap will be found by Mira. That's a good one for the Terrorblade. And Razor will get the same one. So tanking up, getting that status assist when he gets initiated on.
And once that refresher comes out, that is close to peak Razor. He is going to be very strong.
Yeah.
Scanning.
As there might be a contest here. Collapse. He's going to be spotted. He's going to be Avatossed. He's going to be bursted. He's going to be dead.
Nice kill.
Even a wall is used. Refresher is being brought out now.
God, I love this wall. It reminds me of Diablo 1.
Okay.
You would know this if you play, and this is the path down to hell. This is level 13 to 16 right here.
Okay.
Placed by the Darks here.
Very cool, Cinder.
There's old people out there appreciating this reference. Unfortunately for you, you're very young. A lot ahead of you. Yeah. What? They killed him?
Diablo? Never heard of it.
Yeah, actually true. Like, what are you talking about? What's Diablo?
Roche up in a little over a minute. And OG, I mean, they're keeping this close for sure. It feels like they are in the driver's seat.
I feel like they're ahead.
They probably, I mean...
Definitely ahead.
They've been winning every fight. It hasn't been like super one-sided, but they've been coming out ahead pretty much every fight. And a lot of it comes down to Yatoro just getting picked off.
The scary part for OG is Spirit. We've seen Spirit have some ridiculous late games, even really far behind with their Sven. We saw them against BetBoom, almost recovering a game against Void.
Yeah, but they've lost both of those.
Right, but they made it very competitive, and I think the conditions this time around are better. Nice win probability for OG. I'm sure everybody out there appreciates that.
Radiant are scanning.
Even if you're behind in this game, I think you have much better chances in the core-to-core matchup against Razor than the one against Void. Like, that one is just terrible in the late game. But this is a game that Spirit can also win minute 80, as far as I'm concerned, especially with Puck being a little bit of an X-factor. We've seen Malrine with a Rapier pop off, and it's worth starting to consider the possibility that we could get there for the side of Spirit. Laurel is scaling very nicely. Let's see what his plan is.
Spirit grouping
apparently
up.
Aeon Disc is on the...
Roche is available.
They're going to start it.
They can take this very fast compared to OG. OG now making their way over. Collapse is going to try to slow them down. I think this Aegis is going to go the way of Spirit, though. Indeed.
And they also have God Strength for a bit. Okay, they're leaving.
Yeah, the BKB TP, as we've seen a million times. Mira doesn't have a BKB because he's a support Terrorblade. Tomato will clean up Maposhka. And Mira's going to make this a little bit more difficult for Ari. Ari's trying to investigate, make sure this is in fact a support Terrorblade and not a core. Sunder comes out.
Just going to waste their time as much as he can.
This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was, not going to lie. Ari with the toss-up. Finally, they kill off the TV.
So I thought Spirit were actually maybe going to stick around and try to fight there. They get the Roche, and they had half a God Strength left. They used nothing else. But they felt like this was going to be such a long fight, and they were in such a compromised position that OG were going to come out ahead, and it might have been the right call. It only cost them the 2 supports after all. But even the supports in this map that OG get to farm for the next minute is worth quite a lot of gold.
Gold is a great conductor.
So, slow resistance, Cinderin. You got to remind me on some of these mechanics here.
Yes.
It's not about the duration, it's about the strength of the slow, correct?
I think it's both. Oh, man.
I think it's, no, because status resistance does 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it has to be a mount.
So, isn't that just inherently good against DK?
Yes.
I feel like this shard's really good. Okay, not really good, but this game it's quite good for Aya.
Yeah. I mean, I will get it eventually, no matter what.
Yeah, I would think so.
He got it now, right? Or still doesn't have it?
No,
still doesn't have it.
Not have it yet. Maybe I'm overrating it. It's definitely possible.
The Toro with a high ground position.
And here's the level advantage. God Strength, he's going to find Tomato, who pops the BKB, but really they're focusing on Seb. As a Grimstroke dies, Tomato trying to keep his support alive, doing a pretty good job of that. And that's Static Link number 1. Doesn't even need the second, but that is the Aegis gone already. As Collapse trying to create some space. Now the focus is on this Razor. Double Astro attack from BZM, focusing all of their efforts onto Yatoro. Has to go onto Mudgolems to try to run away, but the Static Link finds him. Again, the Sven is dead without putting on much of a fight. Collapse. They really need to get a bash or something on somebody. My God.
But the opening to this fight from Yatoro, it doesn't quite make sense. So he pops God Strength and goes in, but doesn't BKB. And then he gets killed, and he has a BKB for the second life, and it's just useless. He has no damage.
Yeah, that's true.
The BKB has to be used on the God Strength life. If you don't want to commit fully, then you have to Stormhammer in and not pop the God Strength if you want to buy some information or whatever, and then really commit on the second life. But if you're going for it, you might as well pop everything. It's not like...
Divine time.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that instead of the Aeon Disc. I really agree with this choice. I think we're in not necessarily desperation mode here for the side of Spirit, but...
Lab, you got to use your hands. Oh, wait, he's dead. Never mind. Keep it up. Keep the cheerleading going.
Keep clapping.
Seconds
you can
on the
clap
deck.
for another 40 seconds.
Now they're going to have the Rapier reveal here. There's the coil. Already tons of damage applied to Mana. Nice vacuum coming into the wall as well. That's the death of the DK. Now BZM going to get the Yules off, but Mira going to be the recipient of all this damage. No Sunder to come. He's bursted down as well.
They barely even tickled them with that Rapier. Tomato just stood his ground, delivered.
Middle barracks are under attack.
Okay. And the pause from Ari. All right, what's your guess that this is? Is it Discord? Is it headphone? Is it bladder?
Can we get the music going?
And Seb is like, good pause. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Yeah, now we get to see... All right, what's the trivia this time? Internet. Oh, so close. I guess that was an easy choice. Any lag, anything of that relation is internet.
My bet boom button didn't work.
Yeah, what happened to our bet boom button? We got to use it one time. Man. Well, this will certainly be 2 sets of racks and maybe even the GG soon. There it is. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Of course, they're not in this game, in case you're wondering.
But they are in the upper bracket finals.
This pause is brought to you by that team because they paused a lot in this tournament.
I didn't even think about that when we were paused and I thought of bet boom. I must
Now
have
you
been...
know.
I'm actually... Damn.
That's subliminal
That is...
advertising or something.
Whatever you want to call it.
You know, that would be genius. If they have all these headphone issues and then they come out with a headphone sponsor right after, like, oh, we fixed all our issues. No more pauses to come. All right. Yep. Okay.
Sorry, didn't realize.
Seb is not here. No one realized because he's dead, of course. Look at his webcam. He's certainly not there.
I think this
Did you not notice that the clapping stopped?
I think this chair could play the next 16 seconds as well as Seb. I don't think it makes much of a difference. You just win in 16 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, in pub games, you usually unpause until the death timer is on 1. Then you pause again. But, 2 things. First of all, this is not a pub game. Secondly, they don't know for a fact that Seb doesn't have buyback because it's on a 1-second cooldown. So he actually could come back with it.
1 FPS right now. Okay, there we go. Looks like his internet's fine now.
And third, his communication could be invaluable even while dead. But now the buyback is online.
All right, going
Third
for the
lane.
Megas. Look at that illusion. Helping out. The corpse of collapse, essentially. Finally go away, but Tomato will clean up this tier 3 bot. Yatoro is up. The DK does have buyback, so they can try a 4v5. The DK with no dragon form as of now.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Not that far away. Tara looking for an opening. Tomato will pop his Eye of the Storm, and that's a melee racks down, and looks like it's just Megas. So Spirit very comfortable to go against Megas. They got a lot of practice.
Oh no, here we
the
go
other
again.
day.
They have a good Rapier hero in there on defense.
Yeah, they don't have a PA Rapier though. That was a
true.
special case, I feel like. Because now Puck, like you need, what do you need? You need like a Daedalus or something. You need a crit of some kind. Oh, they have the banner, by the way. Laurel has it in his backpack. Has he forgotten about it? Or it's in his stash, maybe. That's in his backpack.
OG will claim the Tormentor, and they will get a shard for BZM. So Seb will never get his.
Yep, seems to be the case. All that hype for nothing. Typical shoutcaster things. And Spirit gonna have to find some sort of a jump that works out. And the banner, of course, can be used to help themselves.
I think they have to get a Rapier on Sven. I don't think this... I don't know. Is Moonshard really better here? Maybe his attack speed is too bad to support a Rapier.
Well, his attack speed will be stolen now, though, from Tomato. So
Yeah.
that's his thinking. As the buildings, as they're so affectionately called, will be going down slowly as well to Tomato's right click. As OG ready to go for tier 4s now, knocking on the door. Yatoro has to do something. God's Strength is there. Laurel jumps in with that BKB, along with the Divine Rapier,
lame.
but the Hex onto Yatoro, just getting so controlled. A huge vac wall.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
God.
Absolutely disgusting combo from Whisper.
Good game.
And Mira's gonna get cleaned up. Ultra kill for Tomato, desperately looking for the... Okay. Okay, he can't get the Rampage while crashed, that's for sure. Oh, that plasma field crashed his computer. I think we can, because they paused really fast, by the way, if he crashed during that plasma field.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a crash. Maybe it was just a full-on freeze, and he thought he was crashing. So
Yeah, I guess that's true. He never disconnected. And onto the buildings they go. Buybacks used by Spirit, but Yatoro doesn't have his. As Ari with the Avatos on Namira, setting up a potential good Sunder for him. Soulbind into really nothing. Just trying to keep them at bay as Laurel from behind is going to get hexed. He's going to get silenced. Can't jaunt now, and that is the Divine on the deck. BZM doesn't even bother picking it up. As GGs are called, we are going to a game number 3.
for the 6th series in a row, or 7th. I don't know how many it's been by this point, but the